name is Jane. I'm 57 years old. I've had my urostomy for 5.5 years now. I was, I was in hospital 5 weeks altogether, and I did leak. I seem to leak all the time, and in hospital, you're on a waterproof mattress. They change the sheets for you. It was wonderful. I never thought anything of it. And then when I got home, I had a major leak, and it's scary because you've got everything to clean, and you're used to being in hospital and everybody clearing it up. But what happened was I just looked into different bags that I could use. I tried numerous different bags. I was in contact with the stoma nurses at the hospital, and we tried various different bags. And I did finally find one that worked really well, and the night drainage system and everything was great. And then I had maybe an odd leak, and I thought, do you know, I don't think it's the bag. I'm going to think about what could be causing this. And I sort of started writing notes about when it leaked, what where I was going, that sort of thing. And I worked out that actually on the mornings when I changed my bags, if I was stressed, if I was in a rush, if I was panicking, I was quite often it caused a leak that day. So I thought I've got to address this because that's something I can address. So I changed my morning routine to fit around that. So what I did was I got up, let my little dog out, had my breakfast, made myself a cup of tea, and went back to bed. Changed my bag, and then sat up in bed and drank my cup of tea. And it gave me a chance to chill out and the bag to, I say settle, is probably the wrong word, but it actually worked really well. And it took away all that stress and pressure and everything on a morning. So that really, really helps. So that is something I think it's important to sort of think about what might be causing leaks, and is there something that you can do to address it. Other things that are found that might have caused it is the heat, like we've got now. That does it can cause you sweat more, so it might sort of degrade the adhesive on the bag, so that makes a difference. And also, this sounds really silly. I had a few leaks. What's causing this? What's causing this? And someone suggested I wrote down things I'd been eating or drinking, and I identified Fanta. If I drink Fanta, I have a leak. And it's like, why? I don't know why, and I don't care. I know if I drink Fanta, I have a leak. So fortunately, I do like it, but I don't drink it very often at all. So I just have to be prepared, really. If I'm going to drink Fanta, like I say, I think maybe twice a year is about as much as that happens. So that's something I think it's important to identify any triggers, so it could be your routine stress, it could be something you've eaten, something you've drunk. I find that if I do like an exercise class, or I'm going to be out all day and I'm a bit concerned, just because you do worry about it, nothing stops you worrying about it. Barrier spray seems to make your back stick better. So I don't use it all the time, but I do use it on those days, and it does seem to work pretty well for that day, and it just gives you that extra bit of confidence to, just sort of get through things like that. I'm going to just turn the page now, okay? Sorry. There was one time, I'm going to tell you a funny time about a leak that I had. I was on a date, and I decided I was going to try leg bag for the first time. And I tried a leg bag with fitted jeans, and it didn't work. The tubing came out because the jeans were fitted, and I had a leak. I mean, I laugh about it now. It was the most horrible experience at the time, but I learned a lesson, and I've used leg bags since, but I've used them with looser trousers, so it's not too bad. So it is worth, if you're going to try a different bag or a different, like say the leg bag or something like that, try it when you're at home rather than what I did and just think, oh yes, it'll work, and if it doesn't, it's quite scary. So that's a sort of funny thing. I mean, I do laugh about it. It was a couple of years ago now. Another time that I think a lot of people are concerned about is the nighttime leaks. Nighttime leaks always seem to happen at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you sort of wake up in a puddle of urine, which isn't nice at all. Like I say, if you're in hospital, it's brilliant because the nurses come and change your bedding. And it doesn't happen often at all, but it just when it happens, it's always, the worst thing ever, you think at the time. I use a washable bed pad on on top. I use it on top of my sheet so that if it happens, all I need to do is remove that, get changed. Usually it's not gone on streets or anything, so it is so much easier. So it is really worth getting that sort of thing, just because it's to have to change a whole bed at 2 o'clock in the morning must be a horrible thing to have to do. So, but I'm also, because I've actually got a colostomy and a urostomy, and my urostomy, I can't sleep on that side because I find if I sleep on that side, I worry so much about creases and things. So I only sleep on the other side to my urostomy. So think about, is it your sleeping posture? Unfortunately, you may have to change your sleeping posture, but I've managed it. What a lot of people do, it's just a case of getting used to it. You can use like bolster cushions and things like that if you're worried about going right over on one side. It's just a case of experimenting and things like that. And I usually get a warning sign as well. I start itching, and if I start itching, I'm like, oh, let's have a look. And I have a look, and 9 times out of 10, I can see through the 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 seal on the bag, the flange part. I can actually see where it's starting to lift, and it's not quite got to the edge, but it's almost there. So that's fine. Change your bag, no leak, and it's fine. So it's just sort of a case of sort of noticing these things and listening to your body. Another thing I find is if I'm sitting in one position for a long time, that's another thing that it can cause creases. So I am aware of that as well. If I'm traveling in a car, I don't drive, but 3 hour car journey sitting in one position, it's it is a bit uncomfortable, and I do worry that it's I've never actually had a leak, but I do worry that it might cause creases. So really what I would recommend to anybody is listen to your body, because it does tell you. You've got to get used to reading those messages. Identify any triggers if you do have leaks. Try different bags and night drainage systems. Don't think the one you get at the hospital is the one you have to use. That you do laugh about these things in the end. It is, you think, oh no, 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 no. But actually it is good to laugh about it afterwards. And I think it's important to be able to do that. And the last thing that I would say is that leaks can happen, but at the end of the day, you have so many more days, nights that you have absolutely nothing happen whatsoever. And if you actually think about the percentage of leaks you might have compared to the whole year, so I think actually it's a tiny amount.